Today is June 25th. The Yankees going to play 2 against the Mets. We chat with Boone and get sharp with the stats. Let's talk some Yanks.
Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, steam and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Jimmy. Jake is not here. BBD is producing. Jake has to be somewhere more important than here. So that's where he is. Picture of Grimace behind me in honor of the Mets. I mean, that's a little... Sarah on our design team helps out with my whiteboard, making it pretty. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if we can... I mean, that's a pro Mets board now. It's a great picture.
Great picture, great shirt. Shop.johnboniti.com for other shirts.
It's our best-selling shirt of the. It's our best-selling shirt of the year. The Grimace shirt.
Yeah, I heard a couple numbers being thrown around. That
crazy Grimace. Now we have to go slaughter him.
We have to end the shirts.
Grimace is over, and if you want to join us on our trip to slaughter Grimace, we got a sponsor for you. Booking.com. Booking.yeah. That's what it says.
That's what they say in the commercials.
Booking.com. Booking.yeah. With summer travel heating up, especially for baseball games and slaughtering McDonald's characters, explore those U.S. cities you always secretly wanted to learn more about. We're talking about your rival's city. Same city.
Go on a trip, check out the Yanks.
Different borough. We're actually heading to Boston at the end of July, and we're very excited for that. We are going to Fenway. Hopefully we'll get to sit on the Green Monster again because that was awesome. That was awesome. We saw Cole dominate. Devers got him a couple times, but Yanks hit a bunch of home runs. It was cool. From hotels that overlook stadiums to family-friendly resorts, Booking.com has so many choices across the U.S. for your summer travel. This MLB season, the right stay can make you a fan of any U.S. city, even your rivals. Book today on Booking.com, an official accommodations partner of Major League Baseball, on the site or in the Booking.com app. Before I throw it to Boone, let you know, just I solo with Boone, and there's so many changes. I kind of wanted to go through all the bullpen names and just get acquainted with what I think his plan is. We talked JD, some other questions, asked him some questions at the end that he didn't want to be asked. Actually, asked him some questions at the beginning he didn't want to be asked as well.
Yeah, he had like 2 different moments that got snappy,
and then
the comments alike
blew his brain with a trivia. Here we go. Welcome back to another episode of Bantering with Boone. Myself, I'm here. Booney, you're here. You look nice. Polo on.
Thanks. Get ready to head to City. Huh?
Barefoot? What's the brand? Is that a foot or is that a California?
Johnny O. That's the Tar Heel.
Ah, okay. You're ready to. You're going to head to Citi Field soon. After this.
Yes.
Do you like Citi Field? Where would you rank it on all your baseball fields, 1 through 30?
One day I'll sit down and write all that down, rank them.
How would you? Like it. What about by like visiting the dugout?
I don't like the dugout. I don't like my spot in the dugout, so that knocks it down. But I like Citi Field.
What's like a way you would rank a stadium as a manager that we wouldn't know? Like sometimes you hear pitchers talk about the bullpen or the mound. Like the manager's office, your spot, I guess. Now we know that.
Yeah, the manager's office definitely plays a role. I don't know, just overall atmosphere, like you go to the Trop, you feel like you're stuck in the basement all week, like you're, I don't know, but there's different, frankly, every place now there's usually something redeeming about. There's something, most of the places now are so good that, even going to Oakland is, it's so different,
That's what's good about it. There's no other places like this.
Yeah. I mean, like you're playing the game, you're there in the summer. It's kind of cold at night. It's like a little different.
I do appreciate how much it burns off at night when I lived in the Bay Area. Well, anyway, there's more to discuss than I could possibly get to because the 26-man is changing. We had people going on the IL, people joining the team. The bullpen has seen like a 5-guy turnover, basically, since we last talked. And the results aren't what me or the fan base or you and the players have hoped they would be of late. 3 wins of the last 10, lost 4 of the last 5 series we wanted to win. How much has the results played into, I guess, mood, decisions, the guys? You think it's affecting anything?
No, look, it's part of the season. Like, I mean, it's inevitable. You're going to hit, little stretches. I mean, that's why teams don't win 110, 115, 120 games. Like, it's a gauntlet. It's a grind. It's, and you're going to face your adversity, whether it's, you get a little nicked up, which we've been a little nicked up here, recently. You hit a rough patch, you run into a hot couple teeth, whatever. You never winning's fun, right? Winning's what we're all after. And there's nothing. So you don't like ever going through it, but it's also very much part of it. The timing of it is not the worst. Like, shines a light on, things we need to, maybe address, look at, the first 2+ months have gone so well that it's also not the worst thing to get a reminder that how difficult, winning and playing at a really high level is. And you can't take that for granted. Not saying we have taken it for granted. I don't think that's the case, but just, little sharpener every now and then.
Well, personally, I've been pleased. I won't say, exuberated, or I don't want the fan base to think I'm some softy, but you have made moves, and it feels like the urgency is a little more than in the past, and that could be fan service, just the way I'm perceiving it. But the bullpen was becoming somewhat of like, it was coming to a head where, you had good stats, and then it was a good, decent stretch of, hey, we need some new faces and some strikeouts, and you make changes. You bring up Yogo, Bickford comes up, Effross is rehabbing soon. He's going 2 innings, but also you go get Chase and Shreve to add to the mix and say goodbye to some guys, Santana and Victor Gonzalez get DFA'd or opted. Can you confirm nor deny that there was some urgency there? Like, we got to get new faces. We got to try something new.
Look, I think we know we got to continue to evolve there a little bit. Our job is to unlock the people that we have as best we can. The front office is always looking to try and upgrade where you can. It'll probably continue to be a little bit of a fluid situation, but the job is in front of us. Like, we got the Mets tonight, and it's about trying to get the right people in the right spots. And so I don't know that it's any different urgency than any other time, other than we realize we need to continue to tweak and make some improvements, and that's what we're trying to do.
Tim Hill was the other name, but that came. So it is like 4 guys, which was almost half the squad hanging out back there, especially if Clay hangs out in the dugout for the first. Whole dynamic changes, I guess. Different storytellers.
Yep. So just trying to find that right combination, get some different looks, build some depth. It's something we'll continue to be on the lookout for, though.
Can I go through real quickly and just stay on the bullpen? Yogo, as you called him when we did our live show, he went 4.2 innings pitched. Is he gonna be kind of a bulk guy to trail heel Cole? Is that a longer man role that he'll have for a little bit, or?
Well, what do you mean heel? Cole will be built up soon. So, and
I meant like Cole's next start.
Probably wouldn't be in play so much this time. No, simply he gives us some length, and And in a week where we kind of wore it there a little bit and had to, go through some pen, he kind of saved our bacon. What was it, Friday, when he gave us, what do you say, 4 1/3, 4+ innings?
Yep.
It kind of reset us and put us in a good spot going into Saturday. So with him kind of resetting it, we felt like we were in a good enough spot Saturday or Sunday, and then going into the off day to hang on to him, to be a guy that can give us some real length down there, obviously. Now, that may be the case. It may change because we may have to go send him down and keep him starting, whatever it may be. But he was able to go, I think he went 75, 80 pitches the other day. So he got like his starter's workload, which is good, which we want to keep him built up. So we'll either, do that here, or, if the time comes where we have to go send him back down to keep built up, we'll do that too.
The other guy, Phil Bickford, comes out. You had a quote about him. You said, he's earned the right to be up here. He's been pitching at AAA, striking guys out at a great rate. That's got to be something you're chasing to get some strikeouts in the bullpen.
We're chasing good performance. I mean, so, strikeouts usually, are a good thing for a bullpen guy. But, I've been pleased with his first 2 outings. He came in and has thrown the ball well. Looks like there's something there. So hopefully he can provide something for us down there. But I think his first 2 times out for us, he's thrown the ball well.
Chasen Shreve comes back, old friend. What's the plan? Is he going to start with the team or going to start in AAA? I don't know if I've heard this answered yet.
AAA.
Okay.
Yeah, AAA. Just picked him up, again, just trying to create some depth, obviously a little bit familiar with him. So we'll see what we have there. Was
Chasen throwing a splitter when he was with the Yankees first time around with you guys?
I don't know.
I
don't remember.
He is one of the looks like he started throwing it in 2017. So yeah. Then 18.
He was with us in 18. When did he leave us? In 19?
It was the Voit trade. So
that was 18.
That was 18.
It was 18. Okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah. So he was
he throws it a lot more now. It's his second highest pitch, but that's very rare. Shota Imanaga is like the next. It's like him. Those are the only 2 lefty that throw splitters in Major League Baseball. Yeah, I mean, everyone's got whatever. Some things are called splitters. Some people call them changeups. Just I guess depends on ultimately. I don't know what the threshold is sometimes, but well, it's just a fun fact.
Fun fact.
Yeah, one of the few lefties that throw splitters because usually they don't need to. All right, when Kahnle threw 17 straight changeups, what was your reaction? What was your reaction to that?
He threw really good ones, so I liked it.
Really good ones. It's fun to see.
Yeah, that Tommy power change with depth and just the one from the side you look at and go, ooh, that's hard to hit right there. So, it won't be the case every time, but certainly a way he can go in certain outings. But I thought he looked really good. I feel like his last 2 outings have been moving in a good direction. We know how big he can be when he's going well. So hopefully, this is him starting to get it rolling a little bit.
Yeah, I believe his last 6 straight scoreless appearances for Tommy. But when you and Brad nudge each other, or do you perk up like, when we're watching all the announcers are like, another one. Okay. Is he going to go to it? Because then if you go to the fastball and you get beat, then you're thinking. So it becomes a mental game.
Honestly, I didn't even think of it. I knew after the fact, I'm like, man, he's throwing a lot of shades. I didn't even realize it was all 17 until after the fact. So it's been good to see him. I feel like the last 2 or 3 outings, like trending in a good direction. Whereas, prior to that, there were a few where he was kind of scuffling.
Yeah. For a while before he left the Yankees, he was always searching for, he would mix like a slider in sometimes, or a slider or a cutter or something. And it seems
he's mixing in a slider a little bit.
Yeah. It seems very much like changeup's pretty good.
Yes. changeup is his pitch for sure.
All right. Something that kind of we took note of was Effross in his second rehab appearance. He went 2 innings. I know that eventually you want everyone stretched out and get pitches in, but I was surprised he did 2 innings so quickly. I don't know the pitch number, so maybe they were quick innings. But do we have a timeline on Effross?
I don't have a time yet. I'm actually waiting to see what his next his updated week of how he's gonna how they're gonna build him up this week. No, that 2 innings was planned. It's just based off the lives and how they build it out. And the first one, he went an inning and then had, I think, 2 or 3 days off before that next outing to go to, just to kind of build his volume a little bit. And then I haven't seen exactly what his schedule is for this week yet.
Okay. All right. One more question on pitching. Cole tonight, does he have a pitch limit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So like 90? No? 100?
I'm not answering
Just
that
could
question.
just be a general, like you could be like, it's 110.
Don't ask me.
Does he have a pitch limit? Okay. Don't
ask me.
All right.
I tell our people all the time, go in the press, don't ask who's available tonight.
All right.
Don't ask what so-and-so's pitch count is tonight.
Okay.
Why would I?
Well, you think Mendy's listening? Mendy knows anyway. He knows. He remembers the timelines.
It's just, why would you give it?
No, I understand. But maybe you would. And then our audience would like it to know. All right.
You're a Yankee.
All right. Hey, JD Davis get picked up. Stan goes on the IL, and you pick up JD Davis. And Jake is very weirded out that his name is JD based off his first and last name, not his middle name. Be like if everyone called you AB, and then you're
AB Boone.
AB Boone. So if you want to pass it along, Jake thinks that's very odd, and I kind of do as well.
Yeah, I'll bring that up when I see him today.
Kind of like J.A. Happ, just going by J. It's like, well, why are you offering the A?
Yeah.
I thought DH, I think a lot of people thought, okay, JD Davis, he's had a good stretch with the bat, stands out, kind of a 1-for-1, but your initial reaction, it seems, spoke way more into a platoon situation at first base.
Yeah. Well, we were actually bringing him on before Stanton happened.
Okay.
So now with obviously G going down for a little while, you just kind of piece it together a little bit more, over these next few weeks. So, you play some hot hands, you play some matchups. And hopefully we can kind of build a good supporting cast night in and night out around the big boys to get some production. And but JD's obviously had a good amount of success in the league, and feel like especially against lefties, hopefully he can provide a little bit of a presence for us.
So you're going to get him before Stan goes down, so then the DH would have been there. So the thought initially was platoon, and then you had mentioned first base before third. I know he's played more first this year. Last year he played more third and graded out pretty well, according to the outside average.
That could be in the mix too, but playing against tonight. Tonight I have him playing first.
Okay.
Against the lefty, and DJ's over at third tonight.
Against the lefty, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how we went. I swear we went 2 or 3 weeks without seeing a lefty, and now we're like 7 out of 10 lefties.
And it's a big storyline. I don't know if you watched the post game, but or Talkin Yanks, but now it's one of the trends or topics is the record against lefty starters isn't great.
Well, it's because we had a bad week this week.
Yeah, but that's chicken or the egg, right? Do you think that matters or no? Okay, I'll rephrase it. I'll let you pick. There's 3 team splits that you guys have a under 500 record in. And I want you to tell me which one lefty starters, extra inning games, AL East.
Okay.
Now, if you could fix one and not fix the other, which would you choose? Which the least important? What's the most important?
Probably the East, because we'll play a lot of those games now the rest of the way, and so hopefully that works itself out.
And then the least important extra innings, because it doesn't even matter in the postseason.
I don't know. I hate to say least important. They're all important.
Okay, but if so facto,
Yeah,
Comes up the least.
the ghost runner extra innings.
yeah.
We ask our audience a lot. Can you help? What questions do you want us to ask? And a lot of them are questions we can't ask because they're even worse than asking about pitch limits. They're just things that are rude and you wouldn't want to sit and hear. But there was a common theme on the comments this section, which I liked seeing this common theme. And it was a lot of people saying, what's the plan with Ben Rice? Is he going to be platooned? Is he going to get a shot? And how often can they expect to see him? Because I think they've enjoyed what they've seen, especially with the swing decisions and the presence in the box.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I think this guy. I think he can hit, and he's done a nice job here early, holding his own at first base. One of the things we considered was holding off bringing him up for about a week because of the run of lefties. So is it fair to just throw them all to these lefty tough matchups? And you're right, he has totally held his own. And I think, which hopefully is something that bodes well moving forward, that maybe he doesn't just hold his own. Maybe as he starts to get into some better matchups, he can, be a nice piece for us. So I don't have him in there today, but I've played him against a lot of these lefties just because I like the at-bat he gets. Even the Sale matchup, which is obviously a really tough matchup where Sale was really on and looked really good. I thought he gave competitive at-bats against Sale. And then Fried's a guy I've loaded up with lefties anyway because he's better against righties. So I prefer lefties in there against him. But, I'll have him in there. Some, JD coming in and having some maneuverability here depending on the lefty. So tonight I don't have him starting, but part of that is it's a pretty heavy split lefty and Peterson. Get some righties in there. It gives me an opportunity to have some pinch hit lanes and maybe draw him a good matchup off the bench, things like that. But I've been really pleased with how he's really held his own against some really tough matchups. And I think he's going to be somebody that hits in this league. I really believe that.
He caught a lot, even this year in the minors. I mean, obviously he's been playing first. Last year it was catching more than first, but this year it was kind of 50-50. What do you make of his play at first base and also the first play when he ranged all the way to get that ball when Nestor was pitching and Glaber? Kind of a realization for me at home, it is different. There are learning curves or just nuances, even something like a ground ball that because of your surrounding teammates are different, or what goes into that when he ranges there, and is there a conversation or does he talk?
There was. That's when I was driving back from graduation. I was listening on the radio. So I saw it later. That one was a little bit of a tweener because we're really shaded to pull. Glaber's really far up the middle. It's not hit hard. Ben's, up close, but over towards second base. So I get him going after it. It's going to be a tough play for Glaber on the run. He probably can make it. But that's one of those tweeners that's, tough for anyone, not just not necessarily even just an inexperienced one. But it was a tough one right out of the chute. Overall, I think he's done a nice job. I think he's really held his own. He played great there the other day. Had a number of plays where, I thought he did really well. He's done a really good job catching in the minor leagues. The receiving numbers have been really good. He's very intelligent, has a great rapport with pitchers. So I think catching is very much in his future. I don't know how much it will be with us right now, just because, he's figuring so much into that first base DH mix right now. And, and he was only in AAA for a short amount of time, so he doesn't have a ton of experience with the pitch comm and all that. So that's like a whole nother thing to, throw on his plate. And obviously we've got a good little platoon thing with Trevi and Wells going. So it gives us some coverage there. He's now the third catcher, but I think he's going to figure right now, this place in time, figure too much into the first base DH mix.
Okay. Good smile too. Fun energy, it seems like, which is good. The whole team's got fun energy this year. Speaking of pitch comm, is that who Rodon was barking at in the dugout? And if we want to skip right past this, we can, because I don't mean to bring up barking, but Rodon was struggling with his pitch comm, not having a fun time on the mound.
I think one of his one of his pitch selections. It was like, no, just an intense moment that happens in the course of the season. The guy pissed off, he gave up a couple runs.
I was trying to give him the out of, like, if I'm having a bad time performance wise and then the thing on my head is beeping wrong, I think I'd snap it and throw that.
No, it wasn't that.
Okay. All right. Well, Rodon gets jumped. His fastball gets jumped a lot by the Braves. They're like a top 5 fastball hitting team. The Red Sox also, I felt like, had a similar strategy against him, but with Rodon, these 2 outings, from my view and listening to the post game, it doesn't seem like there's a single identifying thing that's like, hey, we got caught here, let's make this adjustment. Or is there something specific about these performances that you think led?
I think they jumped him quick and did some damage on his heater right away. I actually thought in the Red Sox game, I thought he threw the ball really well after the first inning plus. Like, once finished the second inning, and then third, fourth, and fifth, he was kind of dialed in and dealing a little bit. And then the Braves got him. I mean, the Braves got him that first inning. It's like Kahnle shoots the ball the other way, first pitch, second pitch, Albies homer. It's like, I thought he actually did some good things within there in that second and third inning, and then the fourth they got to him again. And really even the fourth, I thought he was mixing well. Olsen hit a pretty good pitch. I mean, sometimes you got to tip your cap. I think he hit a slider kind of down and away, rode it out, and it was in and around, a couple choppers down the line. So it's like, bad outing, but not something that to me was like alarming or, stuff's down or anything like that. I think he's in an okay spot. He got caught a couple innings there, and hopefully next one he bounces back a little bit.
Yeah, you can see the significant drop after the first inning in the fastball usage. The changeup and the curveball came up a lot to get through the rest. And he's got those pitches now. That's something he had to work on to build widen the arsenal. And he's been a 3-pitch pitcher a lot of this season. I think there's one start I can remember where he really was just fastball slider, and it was a good start. He could get away. He was getting away with it.
Yeah, he's got more ways to beat you, I feel like, right now, which is good. He doesn't, it's not just fastball slider, and if I do or don't have that, that's the result of the outing. We've seen him do it a lot of different ways this year, which has been good.
Yeah. So the thought then would just be, if you can identify a team that you think is going to just hit the crap out of the fastball early, mix it up, kind of pitch backwards earlier. The old Tanaka.
Ultimately comes down to execution.
Okay.
It's not just running from a certain pitch. It's
switching it up, I guess.
Yeah.
We've been impressed with his ability he saves his strikeouts for when runners are on. Like his without runners on, he's getting contact and quicker outs. And then when runners on, his strikeout numbers go up. I forget the numbers on it. We had it at one point. It was cool.
Yeah, I think there's certain times when he's got his back against the wall or in a little bit of trouble. He's got some more in the tank. So you'll see him typically in that kind of 93, 4, 5, 6 range with the fastball, and then all of a sudden you're backed up against it. You see some 97, 98. You see some more. I think there's something to that.
All right, I got 2 more topics and then trivia for you. One is one that the fan base, who we represent, conduit through, are still kind of annoyed about or trying to figure out with the Orioles. Judge gets hurt. He gets the next day off. It's goes to extras. It's a close game. Judge said he wanted to play. Totally understand, or at least I do, not starting him if he doesn't. You're worried. Then we don't see him pinch hit. Then the very next day, he's hitting a homer. And you're like, oh, was he? That would have helped if he was good enough to pinch hit in that game. Is that you guys just, it's June and being careful? Not having him available?
He wasn't available.
All right. So it's just, he was banged up?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think the thought process is, does he really recover in one day? Is it like swollen and then it comes down? Because the next day it's a homer. And
It was a big difference in the day. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's fair enough. Soto's exit velo's down since injury. And, he's the prized piece right now, and everyone's looking very carefully at him since missing. The batting average isn't there. He's still getting walked a ton. Are there any lingering worries? A lot of lefties in this stretch, a lot of good teams, or as fans, should we take note of that?
No, I don't think there's anything to it. I think because frankly, he was raking through that stretch, and actually, I think he's seen improvement in the forearm or the elbow. So no, I don't. I think that's a moment in time in the season, and yeah, we face tougher lefties through this stretch. Yeah, I don't think there's anything to that.
Okay. We have beatbox trivia. Are you ready? I personally made this one for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Trivia is presented by Beatbox. Beatbox is the perfect pairing for a Yanks game. Do yourself a favor and hit the link in the description to find Beatbox near you. All right. Yankees play the Blue Jays this coming weekend. Who was the first USC guy to get drafted by the Blue Jays after you left USC?
After I left USC. Wow. So, okay. Ryan Stromsborg.
Yep. Nailed it. Rosie told us to bring him up. He said, you should ask him about Ryan Stromsborg, his best friend. I said, okay, I'll do it in trivia.
Wow. I was going to say, how do you know that? Okay.
Yeah, you did have a look on your face like, what the fuck's that?
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah, we were hanging out with Chris Rose this weekend. He said, that's his best friend. Or he brought him up. Oh, guess he does some other works in Ryan's life.
Yeah. That's great.
So Jake said,
That's
we'll
awesome.
do it. All right. You're seeing a lot of...
Going to City Field this week?
I don't think so. That place... Nah. No, I actually like City Field. But I got...
Wrong direction.
I got a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old, so we're going to the pool.
Pool will be good. Pool or pond? Pond will be good for you.
Yeah. Sevy, Beatty, Mendy, Otto. You're seeing a lot of old friends today. Who are you excited to say? Severino, Harrison Bader, Mendy, Ottavino. A lot of ex-Yanks on the Yankees. We're not seeing Sevy pitch though, right?
Nope.
They moved him around. He's pitched Sunday.
Sevy Douglas.
Oh, wow.
They moved him around. They pitched him Sunday night.
Have you been following the Mets? They're hot. Grimace.
No, but Sevy was dominating Sunday, man. He's done well, and they are playing really well. So, yeah, another tough series.
All right. Well, I'm excited. 2 good pitchers lined up for it. Cole and Heel should be fun.
So.
All right. Thanks, Boone. See ya.
All right, man. See ya.
There you have it. We'll recap a little bit of what we just chatted about with the manager of the New York Yankees, and that recap will be brought to you by Momentous. You may assume you're getting everything your body needs from a diet or a simple green juice, but most people are still short on essential nutrients our bodies need to function at our best. That's where Momentous comes in. I think this is what Trev or Plouffe was talking about this whole last weekend when he was around. Their creatine, omega-3, and protein ensure that all of your bases are covered. These are 3 supplements. These 3 supplements support nearly every aspect of your foundational health, from aiding cognitive function to reducing inflammation in muscles and joints. I need that because I've been going to the doctor for like 2 years trying to figure out what's my inflammation all about, and they don't know. They just say, give me the copay and then go get imaging, and then bring the imaging back and pay me more money. So don't just take our word for it. Momentous is a trusted supplement provider for 30 of the 32 teams in Major League Baseball. There's a reason why the world's best athletes and experts use and help develop Momentous products. So if you are like me and you want to take what the champions take, go to livemomentous.com. Use code YANKS to get 20% off your first order. That's livemomentous.com with code YANKS. Lot of changing of the pieces in the conversation with Boone there, which wasn't very conversational at the beginning, but I just wanted to kind of go down the line like,
A lot of names in and out. We're trying to get a sense of who's who.
yeah. And Boone doesn't want to admit, but like, yeah, there's urgency and we're chasing strikeouts. He's like, I'm like, well, you need some strikeouts at the pen. He's like, it's always good when you have strikeouts, especially in the pen. It's like,
A strikeout is a good result, and we chase good results.
Like starting pitchers, I don't need all the strikeouts because I actually want you to last longer and be efficient with your pitching, and then strikeouts are great. Bullpen, I want strikeout guys, and so do they. And Phil Bickford striking out a lot of guys in the minors. I don't know if he's your savior. I just like how much turnover there is and how much they're actually doing stuff here. So it's good to hear a couple things. Effross situation still. They don't seem to ever have updates. They don't seem to actually be tracking him as if he's someone that's going to come help the team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Jake has even talked about sometimes and been like, and Effross is coming. I'm like, they're not talking about him the way this is a guy they traded for.
Yeah.
To help the bullpen. They never know. Every time he's like, I guess I'll find the plan.
It's like, he's a bullpen guy. You just had him throw 2 innings on his second rehab. And like, in theory, he could be coming back and maybe helping soon.
I'm not knocking Scott Effross. I like his ability to throw. He's got crazy pitches. I think he can help.
Yeah.
I'm just reading.
And as we said, any guy, like their first time back from Tommy John, just how much can you put in the bank on that?
I know. Well, he'll lot in his bank right now. But Effross could come back. It could not be till the very end of the season. Like that's where I keep listening. I'm like, is he going to get rushed up? Is it going to be July? Is it going to be? That's probably way too early, obviously. Yeah. But I mean,
sounds
right
like
now
not
it's
this
like
week.
Could be last 2 weeks of September. They just want to get him in like they did Monty back then. It's like that's where I'm getting confused. Like, what's the plan with Effross? Still don't know. Kahnle's changeups. That was funny.
Yeah. The other one that I felt was of note, because after the game, in the JD Davis reaction episode, we talked about Boone sounding like the plan was platoon at first base for JD Davis for the most part, and a few other spots mixed in. But I guess when he was talking then, that was like original plan when they were planning to go get him, even with Stanton around, was more of that.
Yeah, that was a new update. They were gonna get JD Davis even before Stanton got hurt. I still think majority of the DH at bats are going to go to Judge or Soto. I'd
say it's at least like 50% that, 50% other, like at least.
Yeah, JD can go in there, but it's not like he's going to get like a series straight as the DH, which kind of what I thought. But I think they're going to try and get Judge a lot of DH days in the middle of the summer in a tough stretch and try to get Soto some, and you're going to see JD Davis at first for Rice. He likes Rice. He said he thinks he can hit, which shows it. Hey, what's
and when Rice first came up, like when they were talking about like we just made this decision, he had specifically mentioned he'll get a lot of at bats versus righties, and he's just by nature of the schedule, 10 of his first 21 at bats plate appearances have been against lefties, just who they've faced. So I think they're able to get him a few more platoon advantages here and get through this stretch of lefties.
I am interested in this lineup because today we have Ben Rice isn't in. JD Davis is in.
DJ's in.
Jones is in.
Yeah. No.
And
what is tonight going to be?
And DJ LeMahieu's in, right?
DJ is in, and we know Trent and Rice are out.
So, the bottom of the lineup, tonight is it going to be Volpe, Soto, Judge, Verdugo, Glaber, J.D. Davis 6, Jahmai Jones 7, Trevino, DJ 8, 9.
Yeah, did they maybe get some? Did it get like Verdugo down to 5 just to spread the lefties a little bit? He's been bad versus lefties.
And maybe they put J.D. Davis 4.
Yeah, or Glaber, I guess. J.D. Davis would be more exciting at this moment for
Glaber or J.D. 4 5, then Verdugo 6.
Yeah,
or Verdugo separates them and he bats 5.
I
Probably he
think
bats
I would
5.
have
Lefty
he bats
5, yeah.
He's batted mostly 5th versus
So who's going to
lefties.
be who's going to bat 4 today? Glaber or J.D. Davis? That's the question.
I guess the betting odds you'd have to lean Glaber gets the nod there, but I don't know.
J.D. Davis at first, Verdugo in left, Glaber at second.
Who's DHing tonight?
Jahmai Jones. Maybe Glaber's DHing and Jones is playing second.
I'd be interested in that.
Is Jahmai Jones going to play center field and Judge DHs?
Because we know it's not Trent. They haven't started Verdugo in center, but he's moved to center in a lot of games. Is there a chance it's a Verdugo starts in center situation?
I do not know.
So that's interesting. We got, Nuggets on the lineup, but
Yeah.
in hindsight, I have a lot of questions.
Speaking of DJ, let's jump to Sharp Stats really quick. We got Sharp Stats, which is brought to you by DraftKings. Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, bases full, down 3. The crowd on their feet, the drama of baseball is real. And so is all the action at DraftKings Sportsbook. From the first pitch to the final out, DraftKings has you covered with same-game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. And if you're new to DraftKings, you got to check this out. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code YANKS. New customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's code YANKS, only at DraftKings. The crown is Jake's.
Hey guys, it's the Queen of Stats, and I'm back. And this week, we're going to talk about somebody who is definitely not back, and that's DJ LeMahieu. Now, one of the most glaring stats on his baseball reference page is 0 extra base hits in 76 plate appearances. This is as of Monday when I'm recording this, before the Mets series. And, yep, that's the most plate appearances by any player this season without an extra base hit. Now, hopefully that's going to change soon, and I'm not saying that that's a predictive stat at all, but, there are some, even though it's early for him, there are some stats that we can look at which have stabilized, which means that the sample size is not too small and we can start to seriously worry about for DJ. Now, keep in mind that DJ has 52 batted balls and 76 plate appearances as we talk about, as I record this. So the first ones that we can use and that we can start to worry about are exit velocity, which stabilizes around 40 batted balls, barrel rate around 50 batted balls, swing rate, which is around 50 plate appearances, and strikeout rate, which is about 60 plate appearances. So all this stuff that I'm talking about with exit velocity is obviously since 2015 when StatCast began. So his average exit velocity is 88.7 miles per hour, which would be a career low. His max exit velocity is just 107.7, which would also be a career low. So he's not even getting that top end high exit velocity. Now the one maybe sort of comforting fact is that his barrel rate is 5.8%, which is above league average and about the same as last year. But still, there's a lot to be concerned with about the quality of contact that he's making according to exit velocity. And moving on to swing rate and strikeout rate. His chase rate, which means chasing pitches outside the zone, is 29%, which would be a career high. And his strikeout rate is 20%, which would be the second highest of his career. So that is definitely something that is un-DJ-like, swinging at pitches outside the zone and striking out a lot. Now, there are a few other things which, stabilize a little bit later. Ground ball rate, fly ball rate, and hard hit rates. Line drive rates do at 80 batted balls, and contact rate is about 100 plate appearances. But he is on pace for career worsts in all of those. So while we can't really, say that we should worry about those yet. We definitely can be cautiously pessimistic. All right. Talk to you guys next week.
Yikes. So much for, it's not so much for, but, hey, give him his time. He didn't get spring training. He's battling back from injury. Most plate appearances in Major League Baseball without an extra base hit is crazy.
Yeah. They're like, I remember one that was cut off in a gap, but that would be one. It's still crazy.
So then she got all these stats that are stabilized. So usually you judge them off of the last 50 batted balls, last 40 batted balls, something like that. And he has those numbers. The exit velo is a career low. The max, the hardest he's hit a ball is 107.7 miles per hour, but that's a career low max exit velo. Chase rate is a career high, so he's expanding the zone. Strikeout rate is the second highest in his career. And he's tracking for a career low in all of the following: ground ball rate, fly ball rate, hard hit rate, contact rate. Not great. I was very confused the entire time about his rehab and rushing him. It didn't make sense to me. You can go back and my peculiarness or curiosity or what? Why? It was there.
All the times they tried it and it didn't work.
You hear so many seasons where guys, so many seasons, and we had Nestor and Rodon pitching, but you have other guys that just say I didn't have my base under me. I didn't have my foundation. So then my body was out of whack. I was not just in the flow of things. I was playing through injury, and he had a lower body injury. And
he has a history of lower body injury.
Do I think that DJ has completely lost the ability to play baseball at a high level? Not really, but do I think that it kind of needs to be curated and cared for and slow going to make sure you can build up to the guy you need to be to play? When you hear about guys and they're the other side of 30 or past that hill, what they do to maintain, it's crazy. And the maintenance on the body is so much higher, and it's not just go out there and play. And he just rushed through. At one point didn't listen to the doctor and immediately re-injured it. And then, so at some point, people talking, are you going to DFA him? No, there's a lot of money on the table. At some point, I feel the move would be, if it continues at this level, it would be to go send him on a rehab in Tampa, just to build back up. They've done that with some guys before in the past, mostly pitchers. Just we need to work on stuff.
Yeah,
doesn't even need to be
reset.
triple A, but then it can be triple A after that. But yeah, he needs to give himself time to get into the proper mindset and shape. I don't know. Just feels like we got a guy that was rushed injury and now it's rushing to produce. It just doesn't look right. And then even at third, there's been some balls that I'm I think he could get to that in past years or other third, but not a crazy amount. But
on the whole, that part's been fine, but
there was some in that game that I went back and rewatched them and they were maybe out of reach, but I really do think they were.
I've seen him do that play before, and guys who are classically trained at third, we've seen do that before.
And with Rizzo not being able to be counted on because he was already not performing, and then now he's going to come back from a broken forearm and give himself 6 weeks to play into shape for a postseason. You need help at the corners, and you have to have some tough conversations with some clubhouse vets to see what you do. Obviously, the Yankees are really good at handling these with care and caring about the people. Zach Britton talked about that when he got injured in 2018 or whatever that was before he re-signed. And, but it's not fun to go tell DJ and Rizzo, hey, we got to make trades to get someone at the corners, and you might not have a spot when you get back.
Our plan is you're a bench guy now.
So I don't know what you do about DJ if this continues, but I did not realize, I thought it's a slow start. No extra base hits. I didn't realize it's
We were all like approaching.
No one's had this
getting
slow
there.
of a no extra base hit start, and like the chase rate's not him. So that's where like it's more spring training, developing the eye and stuff. Because
we're just like he's pressing.
right? Yeah, pressing. Now
Yeah.
because we're just did this whole pressure comeback thing. I don't know. That stinks.
Yeah, that's where the max exit velo becomes like the concern, because there's guys like Volpe falls in this category where like some of the contact guys who like do expand the zone a little bit and get hits out there, their average exit velos are lower, but their maxes are still high. It's like, yeah, the pitches they do damage on, they just find ways to find light hits. So Volpe's in that category, and in the past I think DJ's fallen into that a little bit, but his maxes were always there. Like, oh, he can really hammer balls, and he has hit 107, which a lot of guys can't do, but for him, that is a low for a max.
Yeah. And again, it is early, but I'm looking at a spray chart of just balls in play. I know his one with hits is all up the middle to right, where his out's coming from. Right field, hasn't really pulled on a ball yet in the air. And he's pulled on a lot of balls on the ground, so just a lot of ground outs. What's this? Sacrifice? What's this one? 27-degree launch angle, 97 exit velo, so deep fly ball. On the chart, it looks like it could be something nicer. In the 3-2 pitch in the Royal Series, no.
I recall a ball in that series. I don't know for sure.
It was in the
that
gap,
one.
got run down, but it wasn't really...
In another stadium, like it was a nice swing he put on it, but not one that like you expect to be a homer.
And this one went 356 at the stadium. That by the red State Farm sign. That's a fly ball. Searching. This is best hit right here. 9 exit velo 102. A nice launch angle. 1-1 pitch against Baltimore. Yeah. That's the one you're thinking of, that Mullins cut down. That was a nice
yes.
hit. All right.
RBI there.
Not great. DJ, get it together. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Appreciate you. We'll be back with a Mets recap tomorrow night.
Yeah, 2-game set.
Go Yanks. Tell them, Grams.
Go Yankees.